Hi, sweeties. Merry Christmas. That's right. It is Christmas time. We're at my parents' house in their beautiful kitchen, and we are cooking some wild rabbit stew today. That's right, in the big red cast iron Dutch oven simmering away. We've got the rabbit, some delicious sweet potatoes, carrots, so much good stuff. We made our own rabbit broth, and that's in there. Let me show you what I did. Let's get into it. I have this rabbit meat that my dad asked me to cook. Actually, his sister asked him to cook it, and he asked me to cook it. It's already cut up into pieces. So I'm going to soak it in some water and squeeze some lemon. And that acidulated water will help remove any gaminess if it's too strong, which doesn't look like it, but you can't really tell. You know, like I don't know how old this rabbit was. We're going to soak it for just about a half hour while I chop the vegetables for this dish. So this is actually quite a few rabbits.
Yeah, it looks like that's more than one rabbit.
Yeah.
One rabbit is not that large.
No, not that large. You can see it has small bones in there. So what I might do is simmer it a bit and then try to remove as many of the bones as I can. That just makes it easier to eat. Just be a little nicer. We've chopped our aromatics for our broth, the onion, celery, and carrot. And we're just going to simmer that down with the rabbit so that it'll add some flavor to our rabbit broth. I'm going to season the rabbit with just a little salt for now and rub that in. I'm going to saute this rabbit, the pieces, in batches just to get a little brown color on them. And that's going to help make a richer flavor for our stock and in our rabbit. The rabbit and the aromatics, onions, carrots, celery are in this pot covered with water. We're going to bring it up to a simmer, and we're going to let it simmer until that rabbit is tender. I don't know how long it's going to take, so I will keep checking it and we'll see. So the rabbit has simmered for about 30 minutes. It's getting to be tender. It's not like fully tender yet, but it's enough for me to separate the meat from the bones. So see, there's a lot of small bones in there. So I let it cool just a few minutes and then pull the meat from the bone. I separated the meat from the bones. There's the bones and there's the meat. It's kind of tedious, but I think it'll make for a more pleasant dining experience. Then we're going to take the bones and add them back into our broth and let it simmer down a little bit more. And then we'll use this broth in our stew. Now in this enamel-coated cast iron Dutch oven, I'm going to make a roux. So I have 2 tablespoons of butter melted and 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to saute that around. My roux is getting a nice brown color, so I'm going to add in my mirepoix, another batch of onions, celery, and carrots, and stir that around. Then I'll strain my broth and add that into. Let's add a little salt and pepper into our vegetables. Now we'll pour in our rabbit stock. I have some dried thyme and a bay leaf. We're going to add that in. Let's add some sweet potatoes in there because we got them. We're trying to use whatever we have in this kitchen, and it's going to be delicious. And then we'll add back in that shredded rabbit. And we're going to let it come up to a simmer. Let the rabbit get even more tender. The vegetables will get tender. And our soup will thicken up. Our stew has been simmering now for about a half hour. It's getting nice and thick. Rabbit is tender. Sweet potatoes, carrots, the rest of the vegetables are tender. And we're just about ready to go. I think we could go a little bit longer. Let it thicken up just a bit more. That is it, folks. Our stew is getting nice and thick. We're going to call it done. We've got the rabbit broth. And if you don't want to take the time to make the rabbit broth, then you can use chicken broth. That is fine. You don't even have to take the rabbit off the bone if you don't want. I just think it makes it much easier to eat. But you can skip both of those steps and you will still have a delicious rabbit stew. Let's see if we can get a shot in the pot. See what it looks like. We've got the fresh thyme. Well, actually, we've got dried thyme in there and a bay leaf. We can take our bay leaf out now. Our carrots and sweet potato are tender. And we are done. We are in the Low Country in South Carolina using delicious South Carolina rabbits and sweet potato. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will know when we have more great videos just like this one. Have a delicious day and a Merry Christmas.